Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Garlet's High Performance Garage channel. Well, it's Saturday morning. Just got back from Hobo Freight and having their big parking lot sale or whatever the fuck they call it. Got my shift kit and mail for my big pumpkin over here. This is for the Turbo 400, even though it's got a picture of a Turbo 350 pan gasket on it. It's for a Turbo 400, because they marked this shit on the back. There it is. Turbo 4 motherfucking 100. And apparently some other transmissions have the same guts. So, I don't know. Plus they have the pans. It's like the Chrysler pan here. For these transmissions apparently have the same fucking pan as goddamn Turbo 350, so that's kind of fucking weird. But whatever. Maybe this straight part is on the other side on the GM. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to look. Also, I got my 22. What is it? 2200 to 2500 stall B&M hole shot. Yes, I got another B&M hole shot. My old girl here tore the other one out, so we got another one. I guess we're gonna see how that works in the coming months. Plus, I got, what else do I got here? I got a dipstick, a fancy dipstick for fancy. One of the ones you can bolt it anywhere you want to, like on the firewall if you want. And I got transmission cooler lines. Got the fancy ones. Come with a bunch of fittings and shit. Got that. And what else did I get? I think that's it. I might need a filter kit, I think. The transmission I bought was rebuilt not too long ago. They didn't use it very much in the truck they had it in, and they ended up scrapping the truck and taking off what they wanted. It was an old square body Chevy. It was all rotted to shit, beat up. It had a flatbed on it and shit. It was shit. It was shit. It was shit, I say. Shit. But anyway, went to Hobo Freight there this morning. Got me one of these Fangle feeler gauges from down there, just one of them cheapy ones. And of course, yes, it's made in China. China. It's made in China. China. Where everything is made today. For some reason, cheap child labor. Anyhow, the thing I really wanted, he finally knocked the price down on, was this bad boy. This bad motherfucker right here. My neighbor has one of these, and I used it a bunch of times. And let me tell you, that son of a bitch sure has come in handy for me over the years. I get my goddamn camera to sit right. Anyway, I'm going to cut this bitch open and check it out. See what we get here. Hood of my truck is a junk collection center for now. Looks like we get these clippy things for the side of it. I like packaging stuff. I guess that's a good thing, huh? So I guess you can hang this on your belt loop, I guess. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, baby. Ooh. Ooh. Of course, it doesn't come with a battery, but we're in luck, people. I got a bunch of these batteries. Let's try one out. Oh boy. Oh yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Huh. Wow. Look at that. Ooh. Fell down. It fell down already. I'm going to have to hold it up. But there it is. There you go. Yeah. Got a forward reverse button on here. And look, she's got a light. Ooh. Yeah, takes these batteries. I got a great big one on my drill. My drill's in the house right now because every time I turn around, there's something busted in that shithole. So I gotta keep my drill over there a lot of times. Oh, we was hanging fucking pictures and shit. So here we are. Lithium power. It's a whatever it is. Bauer, I guess it would be called. So, anyhow, it's got all these fucking features and bullshit. Whatever this is. Variable speed. Trigger for precision control. A 1/2-inch anvil with heavy-duty hog ring for secure socket retention. All metal gear construction improves life and durability. High-performance motor delivers 450 foot-pounds of breakaway motherfucking torque, cocksuckers. I should be the one to write this shit on these boxes. To deliver the most demanding applications. Whoops. Did I say deliver? For the most demanding applications. Alrighty. It says, some more runtime. They even talk about the battery that they don't give you with it. So, it's powered by a fucking 20-volt lithium-ion battery that will probably catch on fire in your hand one day and burn you. Bright LED illuminates work area for increased visibility. Textured overmold. Oh my God, for secure grip and comfort. So when you can, I don't know, I guess rub your cock up against it, I guess. And compact, lightweight design minimizes user fatigue. Oh my God. And it says, tool only. Batteries and chargers sold separately. Warning, this product can expose you to chemicals including lead, which is known in the state of California, which we do not live, to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. They got to make this, they got to update this today. They got to update this for these transgender people today. May cause birth defects even in a man. Even in a man, because we know you can get pregnant for some reason. So I didn't know I had a uterus on board. I guess I do. Oh, it states the RPMs, 2,000 revolutions per minute. And IPM, what the fuck is IPM? I don't know. It's not important. Then they give the size and all that shit to it. So, yeah, fuck, it doesn't matter. It says, for best results, use 3.0 amp hour battery. Oh, what is mine? Oh my God, it's a 1.5. Fuck! Fuck me! My God. Shame on me for using that. Oh, God. And plus, I stopped at Tractor Supply the other day. I got this handy dandy little peanut here. Little mossy oak fucking knife. Got 3 blades in it. Very nice. Very, very nice. And of course, it's the fucked up month of March. What is the date today? The date today is the fucking 11th. We turn our fucking clocks up tonight, folks. Don't forget to do that shit. Oh, Chanel here. She'd be proud of you if you, oh yeah, turn your clocks up an hour. Oh yeah. All right. But, you know, it was, now mind you, it was 70 degrees here Tuesday. Today, of course, it's Saturday. It snowed last night, and look at all my junk out there. And it's like fucking 25 out there right now. Maybe 30. Anyway, I got a mess to clean up here. I gotta clean up my messes. I gotta get rid of these damn boxes and all this shit. I gotta lay some plates there. I got a screw to the floor of that pickup out there. I got a couple of road signs too I want to put on the floor of it. But I'm not going to really be able to do that until it clears the fuck up a little bit around here. I don't feel like moving shit outside. Plus that Impact comes with a handy dandy little book that's in mostly Spanish, you know, so we can all understand it. You know, because we're all Spaniards here. We're all from Mexico, I guess. Anyway, pretty soon Mexico's going to be empty. There aren't going to be anybody down there but the president and then drug cartels. So, yeah. Oh, here's that paper, that torque converter I got. It said on that paper that it's not for high-performance applications like with big blocks. And if you have a big block, it's got like 500 horsepower, 600 horsepower, you're not going to be able to use this torque converter with it. Because apparently it's going to tear it fuck to pieces. I guess. Fuck, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing now. It's going in with, it'll just fit up just nice with this baby here. I'm thinking about doing a cam change. I'm really thinking about it. I have a cam in there that is just absolutely fucking insane that I bought off a guy. He was going to put it in something and he didn't. I didn't even use it. It's in a box in my rusty cabinet right there. I'm thinking about doing it. Thinking about changing the camshaft. I'd have to pull the valve covers and the intake and distributor and all the shit off the front of the fucking motor just to do that. But it does need an oil pan. The oil pan's got a small hole in it. When you get that oil hot, it expands and it gets thin because oil, the hotter it gets, the more viscosity it loses. So what happens there is it gets thin and it drips out. It's right next to the plug. Because when I was putting this engine down in here, I was having a hell of a time lining it up with the transmission. But at the time, I should have just pulled them both out. That would have solved me. It would have saved me a lot of trouble when I pulled it out. Because I had a hell of a time getting in here, and I gouged a hole in it, ripping it around. Because I was in here standing there where the radiator is. I had my feet right down there in front. And I was jerking this bastard back and forth trying to get it to made up on the dowel pins for the transmission. And I gouged a small little hole next to the fucking the oil plug. And I welded it. I drained all the oil out of it and welded it. And then I took a little Dremel tool and run around it. And apparently I didn't get it good enough. It still leaks. It still drips out. That's a 1986 engine. So it has the full rear main seal. It has the one piece instead of the old two piece, which a majority of my 350s have, is the two piece that leaks. But anyhow, that doesn't matter. These small blocks are kind of like them old Harleys. If you have one that doesn't leak oil, there's something wrong. So, anyway, look at that fucking... Oh, my God, I got junk everywhere. I may even buy a new vise here later on. I'm going to try to. A bunch of fucking dog leash cables. Anyway. But, let me see. Just for, get all this junk out of the road here. Just for, from the last video I did about, the Facebook shit. That last video was a Crown Vic running around. Anyway. Damn, I'm fucking tired for some reason. Anyhow. The last video I did about the Facebook scammer thing, I only got a couple of views on it, but the views and the comments I did get were pretty good. I fucked around all week long with this scammer on there. It was on Messenger, and they didn't come after me. I went after them because I looked at their profile. It was this woman. And it didn't really say where she was from, like a lot of them. It had a bunch of pictures of this girl with her, looked like her dad. It looked like he was on oxygen. He was in pretty rough shape or whatever. But anyhow, she claimed to be from this area. She actually, whoever it is, subscribed to my channel as well to con me a little further. So, what it is the one thing I didn't really go over on the last video about the Facebook scammers is another red flag that'll draw you up like for I can't run my hands very good anymore. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to say number 3, the third thing you should look for is after you fuck around with these people a little bit, they'll ask you for some money. They'll ask you, I can't remember if I went over this in that last video or not. They'll ask you for some money. Because in the conversation somewhere, she also said something about a rate of some kind, that she charges a rate for me to come see her. Now, said she was from California and she moved to the Cumberland area, which isn't too far from me. Cumberland, Maryland area. It's full of crackheads and stuff down there. Lots of drugs there. Lots of murdering and chopping people up and crazy, crazy shit I've never thought I'd ever hear of in this area has come to my area. And I don't live too far up the mountain from California, oh my God, from Cumberland. And that's just fucking scary. And what has happened is down there in Baltimore County, they closed up the prison here a couple of years ago called Jessup. And it's down there in what they call Jessup down there. And they closed it up. For some reason, I don't know why. I have no idea why they closed it. I don't know that information. There's something going on there. But they moved them all up here to there's 2 prisons down here in Cressup Town, which is a neighboring town of Cumberland. And they moved all these prisoners up here. And all their relatives that sell drugs and are hooked on amphetamines and meth and heroin moved up to the area. So now there's lots more drugs and a lot more of unemployment come to the area. These people are living off the state and local government, but they were down wherever they're come from before, because these people don't work. These are people that, I've worked a lot of jobs around here, and I've never seen these people working these jobs. These people do not work. And I'm not going to say that they're a certain race. They're of all races. So it doesn't matter who they are. Whenever you have somebody that's hooked on fucking drugs, they're going to do whatever they can to get them, even if it takes stabbing you and getting your wallet off of you to go buy drugs, they'll do it. But these people are they're very insane type people, and they're just, there's lots of crime down there. There used to be, now it's all up here because there was so much crime down there. Now it all moved up here because these prisoners are moved up here, and they'll be released here, and they'll just probably continue to live out their days in the area, which, it's terrible. So it's awful. I never ever thought I would see it get this bad. And I figured with the population increase like that, they would bring more jobs to the area. Nah, nope. Place I used to work for, Hunter Douglas Fabrication down here in Cumberland, makes window blinds. They are closing up this summer and going to Mexico. Just saw that right up in the newspaper, and it was posted on Facebook. 600 fucking jobs lost. It used to be more there. There used to be more people that worked there. They have steadily moved departments to Mexico. They've been doing it since their buyout. See, Hunter Douglas was a corporation of its own. And what happened was the same people that own Anheuser-Busch and Kraft Foods, they're all one, they bought out Hunter Douglas. So for some reason they thought, let's get into the blind business. So that's what they did. They bought them out and pretty much run them in the ground. They started moving everything to Mexico because that's the name of the game today. Let's move everything to a third world country so we can produce the product for pennies on the dollar. Pay these people hardly livable wages and make huge profit off the product. And the quality, when you do that, the quality just goes down the shitter. Because I remember when I worked there years ago, I worked there over a summer here 2 years ago. I worked there because I had, I'd left running the sweeper truck in Morgantown, and I wanted to get closer to home. Plus, the sweeper truck thing was falling through anyhow. It turned into part-time, and I couldn't drive an hour and 10 minutes on 6 hours a day pay, which, was bullshit. So I left there, and, it wasn't really anybody's fault. It was just because they used COVID as an excuse at the time, and they said that it was COVID. They come through. Now we powered down. I was off over there for a couple of months. I was only off work for a week. Then I went back with the same contractor, and we cleaned up the county roads in Garrett County here. We swept all the curbs and then some. And then they wanted me back over there, so I went back, and they said that all they could guarantee was 6-hour days. So that's bullshit. So I left. So I went to Hunter Douglas down here to work again, and this had been the first time I'd been there in about 11 years. And it's bad. It was bad down there. The drug overdoses in the bathrooms at night. There was a drug overdose like every week down there in the restroom. These people would go in the bathrooms and take a bunch of drugs and shit. Or people just wouldn't show up for weeks. And they would get their paycheck. They would go out and buy drugs, get high as a motherfucker, and they would lay like that for weeks and not show up. And now it just goes to show you, when I was there 12 years ago working, I first started working at that place back in 1997, back when I got out of high school. I worked at a dealership in Oakland, Maryland. That fell through. That was bullshit. They tricked me into detailing cars. I was pretty good at detailing cars. I was supposed to be a technician, but they screwed me out of it. They weren't going to do nothing. They just wanted people in their wash bay. Took us straight out of auto mechanics in high school and right into that job. Screwed me around, so I left. Both my sisters worked down here at Hunter Douglas. It was in Frostburg. And they told me that, they're hiring on, second shift. Get down there and work. So I went down there. I worked. I liked it. Really enjoyed it. Plus, I was still living at home with my parents. I'd go out with them. I made a bunch of friends down there. Plus, there was people who worked there already knew anyway. And we went out. And we'd always get liquored up every night. And I'd drive home, or I'd hit sheets in my drunken stupor and get food and then come home. And it was a vicious cycle every day. I worked there for 3 straight years. I left there, found out the grass wasn't greener on the other side. I worked for the Schwab company that makes Ralph Lauren clothes and makes Little Me baby clothes. I worked in their warehouse. People made fun of me, said I was sewing baby clothes down there, and I was actually unloading ocean containers. But anyhow, running fork trucks. I worked there for a little while as a stepping stone, and then I ended up going back to Hunter Douglas again because my wife had got on there. She was working in customer service. My one other sister was working customer service, and the other sister was working in accounting. My dad was working down there, maintenance. So I went ahead and got on again. My dad helped me out because they were screwing me around with my application. And I worked there. Now, the point I'm trying to get across here is whenever you worked there, it was an attendance-based policy. And it was what they had was a backlog. If you have a backlog that's higher than so many thousand, they increased your hours through the week. Instead of working 8 hours, you'd work 9s, and you'd work 8 hours on a Saturday until your department got caught up to what their regular backlog would be. Now, it would come in bursts. You would work all of July, 9-hour days, and Saturdays. And, depending on what day 4th of July went on, you would get that Saturday off. But anyhow, you would work either June or July or August. You'd work a good while on overtime to get your backlog down, which makes sense because you get your backlog down, then you have, you can go back to your 8 hours. The overtime was nice. It's pretty good. But I didn't make a lot there. But back then, nothing was that expensive. But then, 9/11 came, and of course, that was in 2001. That was when my son was born. It was the same month my son was born. So the impact of that and the Bush presidency, later on, we fell into a recession, a really bad one. It was the one in 2008, and then I ended up getting laid off in 2009. But anyhow, the policies of that place down there was based on your attendance. If you showed up, you worked, and you had a quota you had to keep down there in your production. When I was down there, I worked in the silhouette blind department, and I cut the steel rails for the rail that the blind hangs from. That's what I did. I cut the aluminum rails. I had to get the colors. They had all different colors. I had to cut them, sit them to the person behind me. They put a label on it, put it on a cart, and away it went to get built. So that's what I did. I did that for 5 additional years. So I worked there a total of 8 years. Those 5 additional years, they was good. It was pretty good. I made pretty good living off that. I only made $11 an hour down there, which back then was good money. It was real good money in the early 2000s. Very good money. And then when this recession hit, and then Obama got elected and tried to fix things, I was laid off for like 2 years. But to go back to Hunter Douglas, if you didn't show up to fucking work and you didn't work your goddamn quota and you did nothing but fuck off, and you didn't show up, you were a no-call, no-show, they fired your ass. They fired you. You were done. When I went back there, the 3rd time I went back, it was so bad down there. They changed everything around. I was in the wood shutter department. I was cutting wood slats for the shutters. I didn't do anything else. I just cut the wood slats. It was automated. All I had to do was feed the machine and scan the barcode, and it cut them all for me. And all I had to do was take them over and put that tape on the ends of them, whatever. But anyway, these people down there, when they would work, the side of the building we were at, there was a bunch of junk sitting, and they had chairs over there hidden in that junk, and people would just break away from their job and just go over and sit. They would just sit all day long. Just sit over there. Just sit there. Now, mind you, I worked daylight shift. The second time I went down there, I worked all daylight shift. They had a weight room and stuff, and me and my wife commuted together. And she worked different hours than me, but I had an hour to fuck around, or I had 2 hours to fuck around after my shift was over. So I went into the gym and lifted weights and watched TV and do all that shit. And I walked around the building and stuff all the time. When I worked there, I was in the best shape of my life. When I worked there, I weighed like 300 pounds, but it was like muscle. It was fucking muscle mass. But anyhow, now, from that time, the third time I worked there till, to present day now, the way it is down there is they have an efficiency program, which is totally fucking retarded. It's an efficiency program. What they do is they see how efficient the department is running at the time, and they say, look, we're only at 60% efficiency right now, and it's 10 o'clock. I'm sending you and about 10 other motherfuckers home. Now, you worked from 3 o'clock till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on your workload and how efficiency was going. Not really the workload, but how efficiency was going. So you would try to work these hours, but you didn't. You never worked those fucking hours. You barely worked 8 fucking hours. You worked like 6 fucking hours and they'd send your ass home all the time. But the backlog was just insane. It was so high. And you had rebuilds and shit all the time, what they called RGAs down there. And you'd have all this stuff that you had to fucking repair and send also. Because they would get to their homes, they would be junk, or the slats would be all bent, or they'd be fucking chipped, or what have you. They would just be fucked up. Fucking bullshit. It was a big shit show. And the plant manager they had picked down there was a fucking druggie. I knew him from the Frostburg days. The son of a bitch is a fucking druggie. He was all high as a motherfucker in a parking lot one day, and they saw him in his car because he didn't show up to clock in. So they decided to give him a little bit of training. Well, you're the plant manager now. Hey, buddy. Well, come on. God, glad I caught you high as a motherfucker out there in your car sitting. Give me a fucking break, people. Jesus. When they sold out, they really fucked up down there. Really fucked up. But I think he was in control before they sold out. Because when I worked down there the last time, it was still Hunter Douglas Corporation. It was still theirs. Then after I had left, a couple of months after that, they got bought out by Anheuser. So Anheuser and Kraft, and I forget what the company's fucking called. You can probably Google that shit and look it up and find out what it is. But anyhow, they did that and they fucked that place all up. And then the metal blind department went to Mexico. Then the wood blind department went to Mexico. Then the roller shade department went to Mexico. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? So they started moving shit to Mexico. They were paying these people. They wanted to pay people from these departments that worked those jobs, send them down to Mexico to train these people from Mexico how to do these jobs. Now, mind you, none of these people speak English, and they don't know how to speak English. How are you going to train somebody who doesn't know how to speak your native language? How are you going to try to train those people? You can't. It's impossible. It's like, what are you going to learn Rosetta Stone in a fucking week? And get down there and train people that don't even understand how to even say your fucking name? Jesus fucking Christ. What the hell? That was a recipe for disaster. But those workers refused to get down there. They said they wasn't going down there, that shithole, and listen to or try to train people that they don't understand and vice versa. He said it's not going to work. Well, the product started really going down the tubes in quality because those people down there don't know how to fucking make the product. They weren't taught properly. They weren't trained properly. And I'm not saying that because they're Mexicans. I'm saying that because they lacked the training. They lacked the know-how. Stuff made in Mexico does have quality, depending on, the dedication of the people in the company. But companies now, all corporations in the United States, thanks to your politicians down in Washington, D.C., they had to pass that fucking bill through the Supreme Court to make corporations have rights like people. Corporations only care about the profit. They want to make that product as cheap as possible, minimal amount of money spent making it, and then they want to get big profit for it. They want to get great big profit. I'm spitting at the fucking camera. They want big profits. They want high profits, low cost of building. They want it built in as less time as possible, and they don't want to have to pay you shit. And that is going to be the downfall of everything in the fucking world. Do they not know this? They're so money hungry. They're so fucking money hungry. They'll just do anything to make a product with as less money as possible. And they want to pay people wages that are not livable. And in other countries like Mexico and Venezuela and Indonesia, Cambodia, those places, and China, those places have no laws in place for employees. They don't care about employees. They have no rights. You either work or you don't work. You either live or you don't live. Chances are, if you don't work in those third world countries, you will die. You'll fucking starve to death. That's why there's 12-year-olds and shit making stuff. That's why we got down in Venezuela, the big lithium-ion battery companies got 10 and 12-year-old kids digging up lithium or whatever else fucking element they use in them batteries. They got guys, full-grown men, whipping these fucking kids to do this. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that of a child? You got somebody with a goddamn buggy whip standing behind you smacking your fucking ears with it. Get that fucking shit out of the ground, motherfucker. Get to work. We might feed you. You know, it's slave labor. And they're fucking modern slaves. That's what they are. But no. Oh, no. We're all rich down here in D.C. So whatever rich people do, that's got to be good. It's got to be good, right? Yeah. This shit needs to put to an end. And the trouble is, working folks like me, we don't have any power. I was born into the workforce. I mean, I've worked since I was 15 years old. 14, 15, whatever. I've worked that long. I've paid taxes all my life. And I'm getting screwed over every fucking bit of the way because rich politicians do not care. Now, I'm not one to pick party sides, but I'm going to tell you, when I was growing up, Democrats were known as the people that were for the working man. Republicans were always the people known to help the rich guy. Now, you have this small little group of Republicans, you have a small little group of Democrats that still believe in the working man down there. But their voices are very small and they can't be heard. And they're not making an effort to help. Majority of both these parties, Democrat and Republican, they all want the big bucks. They all seen what the fuck happens when you get a private jet, you get a yacht. Several yachts, several homes. Oh, I want to be that. I want to do that. I want all that. So that's what they are all geared up to go get. And that's why all this environmental policy stuff is bullshit. It's fake. It's all a big thing to make money off of you. Any of you that think you're buying an electric car, you're saving the planet, you're not saving shit. You're making it worse. Those chemicals in those batteries are a recipe for disaster and death. You will have a fucking fire from those fucking cars. You go out there and buy an electric car, I guarantee you. They even have GM and Ford and all them. They even send the goddamn waiver to you that says, don't park this fucking thing 50 feet from within your fucking home. If you park that thing in your driveway or in your garage and charge it, chances are it's probably going to catch on fire and burn your fucking house down and you while you sleep. Come on, people. Come on. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with all of you? This is not the way to go. It's not. This is totally fucking insane. And I'm talking fucking insane. Doing away with the internal combustion engine is a fucking mistake. That is not the problem. There's nothing wrong with our environment right now. There's nothing wrong with it. And they say all the plastic floating in the oceans. Well, go clean it the fuck up. All you got to do is start making glass again. Start making everything with glass. Make it like back when I was a kid. You bought a 12-pack of Coke or Pepsi, and they were in them tall, long-neck bottles, like beer bottles. Or you got them in cans. When you were done with those bottles, you took them back to the grocery store. They gave you money off your next purchase of that same product. They took them bottles back. They were shipped back to the plant. When the truck came to deliver pop to the store, we call pop around here, not soda. They deliver it back to the fucking store. They pick up the empties and take them back to the bottling plant. They're sterilized and filled again, capped again. They do it over and over and over. Still, those fucking bottles, I got one still from back then. The glass is thick as fuck on them sons of bitches. It took a lot to break one. You could hit somebody over the head with that cocksucker and it not break. I've done it. Anyhow. Anyway, that's what we need to go back to. You know, everybody said, oh, the environment was so horrible back in the 70s and 80s. No, it wasn't. It was not. We didn't have great big fucking winter storms back in the 80s. At least around here we didn't. I don't know what they had anywhere else. But it was not very bad. It was not that cold in the wintertime here in the 80s. And in the summertime, it was nice and hot. It wasn't that humid. But we live on a planet that is alive, so shit changes. It changes regardless of what we do with it. It doesn't matter. When we are parasites on a dog's back is more or less what we are. And no matter what you do, it's like a dog taking a shit. It eats, it shits. It eats, it shits. It drinks, it pisses. The planet Earth is the same fucking way. It consumes every bit of fucking nasty shit we pump in the air, and it turns it into oxygen. It's simple as that. Oxygen is a waste product from all of our plants, from a blade of grass to the tallest fucking tree on the planet. I don't know how y'all got away from third grade science class. I don't know. I learned that shit in third grade science. It's called photosynthesis. It's when a plant with water and soil gets sunlight and it thrives. It grows. It's just downright fucking magical. If you ever plant your own goddamn garden, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Around here, we do that. We plant gardens. We eat our own food a lot of times. Makes you live longer because all the food now has shit pumped in it to try and keep it on the shelf longer, and it doesn't work. It's just more or less a big bunch of shit to keep chemical companies in business. That's why everybody's suing Roundup, because they get fucking cancer from it. And they spray Roundup on all the fucking crops. So if you wonder why everybody's getting cancer, that's why. And I think they're on a mission to thin the population of the planet. And I have some more sad news. Not only is the big employer Hunter Douglas closing in the area here this summer, my kid's school is closing down as well. Route 40 school down here, the school that I went to. My father went there. My dad actually went to school in Grantsville first, because they were waiting on Route 40 to be finished being built. And then he went there. That was back in the 50s. I think it was 1955. That's what I'm thinking, 1955. That school's been there that long. They ripped the old building down, built another one, cost like $1.9 million. And that wasn't that long ago. That was probably 12, 13 years ago. And now they're just going to throw it the fuck away and consolidate us kids down here on the stretch with the kids in Grantsville, which isn't that far away. But still, I went to Grantsville School for the last 2 years of my elementary school. I went there in the 4th and 5th grade. And then I went to the middle school, which was 6, 7, and 8. And high school, 9, 10, 11, 12. But anyway, they're closing it up. This is the last year for it. My daughter made it to the 2nd grade down here. Now the fucking 3rd grade is going to be up here in Grantsville. I don't know their policies up there anymore, but I know they had 2 grades. They had 2 classrooms per grade from pre-K to 5th grade when I went there. But I started out down here at Route 40. Both my sisters went to Route 40. Everybody I know around here that's local went to this elementary school when he was a kid. Some of them went to the old Bell High School down here in Frostburg after they got out of elementary school. That's where they went. Or they went to Northern, which that's where I went, because that school was the best. They have the highest test scores in the fucking state. And they always have. I don't know about now, but they did when I went there. But anyhow, it just goes to show you that our politicians, they're so rich that they are trying to steal education away from our working folks. They're trying to keep us from being educated. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to you? It sounds familiar to me. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like back in Nazi Germany. See, the Nazis were, what do I want to call them? They were, it wasn't capitalism, it was, shit, I can't remember what it was called. But anyhow, the Democrats run on this. What Hitler did was he convinced everybody to throw their guns away. He convinced everybody in Germany, get rid of your guns. You have to celebrate my religion. You can't do this or can't do that. And I'll promise you everything that you want. Which he screwed those people over. They were all so dumb they did what he said. They got rid of their guns. They basically gave up their rights and their freedoms. And that is what is happening here today. That is what's trying to be happen. Or that's what they're trying to do. Your rich politicians are trying to close up public schools. They don't want public schools. They've been steadily draining the funding from them. Because when I was a kid and I went to public school, when I was a kid and I went to school, field trips were paid. You got lunch at school. You paid every week or every month, and you got a lunch ticket. It was punched every day. It was about 2 weeks worth on a lunch ticket. It's like 10 days. It was punched every day. You got lunch. It was punched. And that was all prepaid. Your parents paid for lunch. And if you qualified, you could get free school lunch if you were poor and your parents weren't working or whatever. They supplied lunch for your kid. They never let you go hungry down there when I was there. If you didn't have a lunch or you forgot your money to buy lunch or you forgot your ticket, you didn't eat. They made sure you ate. They gave you lunch for free. It was done to me before. I forgot my lunch one day. I had nothing to eat. I didn't have a ticket, didn't have any money. They gave me a lunch for free. And that just goes to show you how good the school system was back then. And it was because it was heavily funded. It is not now. They're taking the funding. They want to kill the Department of Education. They want everybody to have to go to private school. And private school costs lots of money. It's like college tuition shit. College tuition's out of control. And the trouble is they want to pick and choose who they pay, whose fucking student loans they pay off down here. It just seems like if you're a certain race, they want to pay it off for you. If you're just, the plain old working folks here, they don't want to fucking do nothing for you. That's the mistake I made whenever I got out of school, was going to work. I made the mistake of going to work when I was 14. I should have just not worked. I should have made the plan to get on state assistance and welfare, because that's a better way to go. They take care of you. You get everything you want. You get cash assistance. You get energy assistance. You get food stamps. You can get a phone. You can get everything you want on state assistance. State takes care of you. If you don't bother working, it used to be you had to prove that you had a disability to get it. Now you don't have to prove shit. You can just go get it. Now, if you have a history of not working, you can. And you can get disability out of the clear blue sky. You can get Social Security. Hey, I walked across the border. Where's my money? They'll hand it to you. They'll give it to you. So if any of you fuckers want anything around the world, if you can hear me, just come through the southern border. You'll get it all. You'll get everything. The motherfuckers that was born here don't get shit. If you're working, you really don't get nothing. So if you're working, you're fucked. So just, I'm sorry about, I don't want to drag anybody down. Your enthusiasm was up there for a while. But if you're a foreign individual and you come across the southern border, you will be taken care of. If you were born here, you will not be taken care of. You will be told to go fuck yourself. So, everybody, I got my tools here. I guess that's how that goes. Whatever. Anyway, you want to screw? But anyhow, everybody, I don't really know what to tell you to do. I would say go to your state and local governments and complain, but I don't think it's going to do any good. The rich man has gotten richer. The poor working middle class has gotten poorer. They're trying to phase us out for some reason. And another analogy of that would be if you ever watched the Blade series with Wesley Snipes. The first movie was just fucking excellent. But he's out there killing vampires. He's part vampire. He's killing other vampires because of what happened to his mother and all that bullshit. He got trained to kill these people. He has all their strengths, none of their weaknesses, except for the thirst. And by the third movie, they have what they call a blood farming facility. Because some other vampires realized, why should we kill humans for their blood when we can keep them alive, heavily sedated, and your body produces blood? They live off of it. They thrive off of it. So they took all the homeless that they could get and poor people off the street and put them in blood farming facilities, heavily drugged them, and their body produces blood. They have big tanks. They just go in and drink it. That's what they were doing to make the vampire community thrive. Now, it's getting like that now because us middle-class people, this country is on our backs. We carry this country. The middle working class carries the United States of America because we pay our taxes. Rich people do not pay taxes. The poorest of the poor do not pay taxes. Who pays the taxes? Us middle class working people. We pay taxes because if we don't, there ain't going to be no money. And they've taken advantage of us to the point where now they're just basically working us out. They're trying to starve us out. They're trying to do population control. I mean, I sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but this is just what I'm seeing alone. This is what I see out in public, and this is what I see in the news when I watch the news. I don't like to watch the news much because it's all bullshit most of the time. I used to listen to NPR all the time. It seemed like they told it how it was. I don't know how they are now. I haven't listened to them for years. But anyhow, it seems like they're trying to figure out ways to kill off the population because there's so many of us. And then they want to tax the middle class to death. They want to keep getting us, making us pay more and more and more so they can spend. And these, our politicians have, Republicans and Democrats, they have private jets. They have limos that take them places. They have servants. The Secret Service has groups of people that follow them all. I mean, it's fucking insane. It's just not right. These people are not right. They are not right. They need voted out. They need term limits. But are they going to vote for that? Fuck no, they're not going to. That'd be like quitting your job that you really like and it pays you lots of money. It's the same difference. These folks are voted in here, and senators and congressmen can run all their lives. They can spend their whole life in there, like a judge on the Supreme Court. They can be in there for a lifetime if they choose. That is wrong. They need term limits like the president does. You should only be allowed to serve for 8 years, then you're done. The only other thing you could be is a governor or a mayor after that. But these people, our local politicians and our senators and congressmen, they're running and they never stop. They never, ever are told that they can't run again. The only reason they would ever run is because they're fucking dead. They're not run, I mean. If you can't run, if, like, I don't know, Kevin McCarthy can't run no more, it's because he's dead. That's why. Or he just chose to say, look, I got a shitload of money from lobbyists and plus working that job. Your regular congressman and senator, they make $200,000 a year on their job. How can a man be so fucking wealthy and have all these homes and yachts and jets and limos on $200,000 a year? It's because lobbyists are going in there putting money in their pockets. And I'm just beating a dead horse here, even fucking talking about it. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about it. Because it's not going to make a difference. Whether you vote in, whoever you vote in next, it's not going to make a difference. The only person, everybody's going to hate me for this, the only person I've heard make any fucking sense out of any of it was that fucking old Bernie Sanders. I know a lot of people hate him because, for some reason, plus both parties in there are for some reason, well, it's because of money. They have you talked into thinking that free healthcare is dangerous. You're going to have death panels to tell you have to unplug your grandma. Unplug grandma now, damn it. Let that bitch die. We're not paying for her shit anymore. There's so much tax money in there. We can have free health care and it wouldn't make a dent in nothing. This place is asshole backwards. And it's pretty bad. You can go to Cuba and you have an illness, they take care of you. They take care of their own. They have free health care. Britain has free health care. Japan has free health care. Canada has free health care. Mexico has free health care. Even down there in Venezuela, they'll take care of you. They have free health care all over the world. The United States is the only place that doesn't. It's because we have cutthroat insurance companies that are in politicians' pockets. They got their lobbyists. Just like GM has their lobbyists. Ford has lobbyists. Anybody you can think of, there's a lobbyist down there to slide money in a politician's pocket to make them do what they want them to do, like puppets. And that's why they're there. And it's kind of, it would be very tempting to have somebody come up to you and say, hey, I got $1 million here to give you if you just make sure people are against having free healthcare. I'm from Cigna. I'm here to slide some money in your pockets, buddy. And then, in turn, you're going to tell everybody that government-funded healthcare is bad, it's wrong, you'll die. And, in turn, also, we're going to go ahead and refuse to give people healthcare, even though they're paying us a shitload of money. We're going to say, you have a pre-existing condition. We can't treat you. But make sure you pay us. Pay us out of your paycheck. You want to go to work. But yeah, everything's fucked up in this country. The world is on fire, people. I may have went too far when I said all this shit. I just wanted to show you the drill or the impact gun that I got. Once again, it's Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. Remember to turn your clocks up a fucking hour tonight. They say Sunday at 2 a.m., but anyway, you turn it up tonight an hour. Daylight savings time begins once again, which is fantastic. I love daylight savings time. I wish to hell we would never change it. So, but I've run my lips long enough on here. I'm just going to go ahead and tell everybody to have a good one. And like always, take care of each other. I tell you, go call your congressman and end some of this crazy-ass horse shit, but that's not going to do any good. So, guess I'll be moving to Canada soon, so we can get free health care. Well, there's fucked up shit happening there, too. So, I heard inflation's really bad there right now. But anyhow, like, share, comment, subscribe. Probably won't get any views on this video because it sucks ass. And I'll catch you all on the next one.